Good afternoon, everyone. Already halfway through November, which is crazy to me because it feels like it was just October. Thanksgiving is next weekend, or next Thursday actually. So I have a lot of recipes that I need to test out. Yesterday I tried a white sauce recipe. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. And the red sauce recipe just didn't turn out how I wanted it. So I think I'm actually going to try a different approach to a red sauce. It's actually going to be chili based instead of tomato based. So I don't know if I showed you guys the chili oil recipe that I do. These are guajillo chilies. That recipe is actually with arbol, chili de arbol. But I'm going to be making these the same way that I do the other ones. So basically you just put a bunch of oil in the bottom of your pan, fry up some garlic, and then you roast the chilies, and then you put it in a blender and you blend it up. So I'm gonna start with that. I think I'm actually gonna put some onion in here too. So the first step, I actually sliced up some garlic, just like that. And the reason you want to slice it is because the inside is what has all the flavor, so you want to activate the flavor. And then I did a half an onion. Alright, so the next step, I'm actually going to put some oil in here, just to barely cover the bottom, just like that. And I'm going to let the pan heat up. And in the meantime, I'm pulling out the chilies. Alright, so I just pulled out 6 of these chilies, and basically what I'm going to do is cut the top off, and then I'm going to pour out all these seeds because I don't actually want it that spicy. This one already has. And if you can't get them all, obviously, you know, whatever. And if you like spice, honestly, you should just leave the seeds in. So, how you test to see if it's ready, if you hear the sizzle from the garlic, you know it's ready. So I'm just going to go ahead now, put these aside, put all that in there. So I just did the garlic and the onion, so I'm going to let this fry for a little bit. And then once the garlic gets nice and brown, that's when you're going to throw on the peppers. Alright, so this is starting to get brown. You can see that garlic's getting a little brown. So now we're just going to throw in these peppers. We're going to roast them. So move all that garlic to the side. And then we're just going to roast these. And you just want these peppers to turn like a darker brown. You don't want them to like burn. Now flip that one over, flip that one over. And then the next step is actually to put it in the blender. So we are going to just put all of this in the blender. Apparently I wasn't filming. I just threw in some chicken broth, and then this is the tomato sauce that I made yesterday, or the pizza sauce that I made yesterday. And I am just going to put a little bit of this in there for the tomatoey flavor. I'm just going to blend all that together. Now the next step, we're going to cook this on the stove, and we're going to thicken it up. So I'm just going to pour this into this pot now. It really doesn't need a whole lot of flavoring. It already tastes pretty good. So this is what it looks like. And now I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of flour in here. I don't want to do too much just because then it might get too thick. So I'm just going to do maybe like 3/4 of a, like 1 tablespoon maybe. And I'm just going to stir it in. So I'm just kind of letting this thicken up now. And it's super easy, and I started this probably 5 or 6 minutes ago, so it takes, you know, less than 15 minutes. Super easy. And if you don't like, you know, tomatoes or tomato-based things, this is a really good alternative. If you have like gluten intolerance or anything like that, you can just switch out the flour with cornstarch, and it shouldn't change the flavor or anything, but it'll make it gluten-free. So just an easy solution. Also, I forgot to give you guys context. The reason I'm making pizza sauce to try for Thanksgiving is because we don't really like turkey that much, and we're doing a big Christmas dinner with my in-laws, so I was like, let's just do something simple for Thanksgiving. So I decided on a sheet pan pizza. So that is why I am testing out pizza sauce recipes, is because I'm making pizza instead of turkey. Alright, so now this is boiling, so I'm actually going to turn it down on low, and I'm going to let it simmer for a little bit.